Folks, quick introduction to the iSearch paper here. This is our fifth project. It's a secondary research based report, but it's a little bit different as you'll find out when you read through this. What it does is it puts the I, that is yourself, in the center of the process. And so what you do is you approach a research question that it really matters to you, something that can change the way you behave in the world, change the way you approach school in the world or work or something like that. Has to have some material difference. So in other words, when you're done writing this, you'll have knowledge that allow you to make a decision or take an action in a way you couldn't have before. So that's what the iSearch paper is about. It's real world research, but it's based on academic secondary sources. So there's an intersection of the personal and the professional. So take a look at it there. You can read about it here. And it is a kind of as I said, it's a modified research-based report. But go ahead and read about the context here. Good writing tends to be really based on solid, sufficient, reliable evidence. And so you're going to really be emphasizing that in this paper. And at the same time, good writing, making writing valuable to yourself, means you really have to care. Has to have some real value to your life. And so we can think of that as exigence. That is, what compels you to write. What's the value of it for yourself? And so those two things intersect in a nice research paper, which is I like. Reason I like it. It's not a typical research paper. You go out and do the research and present what you find. Instead, you are doing research in order to really make an influence on your life. It has five main sections, and we're going to write these sections over the rest of the quarter. I'm going to try to dedicate Fridays each week for the next 3 or 4 weeks to the iSearch paper. You can read about each one of these sections, but it starts very informally. What do I know about this now? And then you do a little bit of preliminary research and say, okay, what's out there, just to get a sense of it. And then you go do a whole bunch more in-depth research. You get secondary sources, peer-reviewed articles, TED Talks, those kinds of things. You pull them all together, the big central section of the third, part three of this. We'll do that the last few weeks of the quarter. And then when we're done, we say, okay, so what do I now know on part four? This is what I now know. These are my conclusions. And part five is, here's what I think I'm going to do, my recommendations to myself. So it has that arc from, here's what I know going in, here's what I found out, here's what I now know, here's what I'm going to do. So that's a really nice arc. It suggests the kind of way we build knowledge naturally, and the paper reflects that. Along the way, we're going to learn about APA styles, synthesizing, integrating sources, conducting effective secondary research, all that kind of stuff. So it should be fun. I really enjoyed seeing students work through this. They almost always find out something of value to themselves. So looking forward to it. Let me know if you have questions.